Monday sees us racing in the Eastern Cape on the Poly surface again. 8 carded races as per normal this time round, and we will kick off at 20-1 with the first race, which is a maiden juvenile plate over 1,000 meters. So this will see the youngsters trying the Poly for the first time, and that means they'll be trying the bend as well, so it will be getting a little bit trickier for them. In general, a small field, and I think it could even throw a difficult result. We've got some horses with experience that have run well, but babies come on at different speeds, and we could see some horses that are pacey, well suited to trying the Poly for the first time. I have narrowed it down to go with some raced runners to start with. Number 3, Whatever Next, topping the board for me. I do think that with 1 run under his belt and finishing 3rd, he was doing his best work late. The yard are expecting a good run, and he can build on it. Number 1, Admiral Shine, is my pick for second. Also got some experience under the belt. He's had the 2 runs, placing in both, and another good run is expected. I throw in the likes of number 5, Flower Seller, who will be having her first start. So a little bit harder for her, both taking on male opposition and the bend for the first time, but the yard says they have had her back on the Poly at home. She's taken it to well, and she does show pace, so she could just be able to get involved in the shake-up. Race 2 is a maiden plate over 1,000 meters. 1, 2, and 8 are my first 3 choices. I think Iron Henry ran a cracker last time out when the yard were expecting him to need the run, and he only just faded late to be beaten by Subterfuge, who was the favourite, and a Cape Raider. I think he did a great job, and he'll be fitter here. The yard do make him a big runner, and I agree. Number 2, Jaspero, is coming along the right way. He's shown big improvement with the move to the Eastern Cape and placed in all 3 of his starts so far. He'll be trying the Poly for the first time, but he's a horse that shows a lot of natural speed that should see him well suited, and in good form he should be there. Horse number 8 is Rooibos, and she'll be taking on male opposition here, but she's in the right form to do so. She's been in the placings of recent. She will be trying blinkers for the first time, jumping from a neat draw, and she should be involved in the finish. Race 3 is another maiden plate for the fillies and mares, and they step up to the 1,300 meter trip. Here my first 3 selections are 3, 1, and 10. I lead with Val Gardena, who really impressed on debut last time out in the Eastern Cape when running a good second behind First Among Equals. She had taken on male opposition that day and had done well for that second spot. She will be debuting on the Poly. The yard are expecting her to enjoy it and do feel she can be a runner. So in goes Val Gardena. Definitely a lot of respect for number 1, Madame Seville, and no surprise that she got it right here. She's had 2 starts in the Eastern Cape so far, both on turf, and she's run second in both competitive margins behind. What catches the eye about her is that she is by Duke of Marmalade, and we all know the Duke of Marmalade progeny loves the Poly surface. She's also drawn neatly, and the yard also think very highly of her chances. So it does look like these 2 horses are going to be contenders. For third, I throw in number 10, and that is Red, White, and Blue. I know her last start was disappointing, but her debut run showed her to be capable of a lot more when finishing only half a length of Denim and Jeans, and let's hope she can get back to that sort of effort. On to race 4, this is a fillies and mares 79 divided handicap, also over the 1,300 meter trip. 3, 2, and 6 is how I will be going. Waldorf Astoria is new to the Eastern Cape. She debuted on the Poly last time out and ran 5th, only 3 3/4 lengths off of Nubel. And I do think that run is going to bring her on. The yard were expecting her to need it, as she did race for break on that occasion. Drawn neatly here, look for further improvement from her. Number 2, Scarborough Fair. Really got some decent form against slightly stronger of recent. Her last especially catching the eye when going down in 4th behind Blue Duchess, only a length adrift, and that day racing against significantly stronger than what she takes on here. She's down in class, she's proven over course and distance, and in general is at best on Poly. I do think she's going to be a decent, in with a decent shout. Number 6, Cherry Pop, is also a Sharon Cotson runner, and she's also in fair form. She did hit a little bit of a hiccup in her penultimate, but she came back with relevant excuses, and if you take out that run, she is really in steady, consistent form at the moment on the Poly surface, and she's a horse that has to be considered. Like stable companion Scarborough Fair, she is also at best on Poly and very much at home over track and trip. Staying over the 1300 metre trip for race 5, which is a fillies and mares 93 divided handicap, and here I elect to lead with number 9 Encryption to beat number 2 Golden Chance and number 6 Blue Duchess. Starting with Encryption, she's had 2 starts so far in the Eastern Cape where she's held form on both surfaces, running 3rd and 2nd respectively, but practically in both half a length off the winners. And I really like a horse like Golden Chance for 2nd, and here Encryption behind Wallace Simpson comes in so much better off at the weights. I think it works out to about 6.5 kilos. So in a run like that, Encryption really should have the decent better of Golden Chance here, and also comes in better off at the weights to a horse like Blue Duchess, who's running in great form at the moment. So there's a lot to like about Encryption, and therefore I'm tipping her for the win. Golden Chance, though, really hasn't done much wrong of recent, and she's knocking on the door for that 3rd career victory. She will be trying the blinkers for the first time in PE, and in solid form definitely has to be included. Likewise for number 6 Blue Duchess, she's running off the back of 4 wins in a streak, and every time you think her number's up and the weight has caught her, she just soldiers on to take victory again, and for that she definitely deserves respect. Moving on to race 6, and here we do step up and trip. 1900 metres is the distance they will be racing over in a merit rated 70 handicap. 7, 12 and 8 are my selections here, and I'm leading with Full Score. He left the maidens in his penultimate, followed up with a smart 3rd behind Fool's Power, who this Friday past ran a cracking 2nd despite a very bad draw, and I think racing off a steady form line, Full Score must be considered. It is an open field. There is a little bit of a lack of form, so there are quite a few other horses to consider, and one of them is number 12, Imperious Duke. The yard do believe him capable of better than what he has been showing of recent, and drawn well in gate 1, as well as being back on the poly. His last was on grass. They are expecting better from him. His easy maiden win, which was on the poly surface, also over a distance trip, promised him capable a lot more, so let's hope he can swing back into action. Number 8, Just Sonic, is another horse who's been very hard to follow. He shows moments of brilliance and then turns it right round to run some very poor races. But I do think that he has upset potential, and drawn neatly in gate 2, Lou Makotwa up, I do think that he can do a lot better. So yeah, I'm putting him in as a bit of a lurker there. On to race 7, a merit rated 86 handicap over 1900 metres. Here I'll be going with number 8 to take victory, Ancient Times, beating number 1 Palo Alto. So the low weight to beat the high weight, and then including the likes of number 5 Aryan Express. I think this is a very tricky race because we have proven class coming up against possible up-and-coming horses that are going to really have the weight advantage here. As you can see, top weight Palo Alto, 8-time winner, carrying 62.5, and Ancient Times, a 2-time winner, will only have to shoulder 53, and we know that especially over a distance trip, that is a huge advantage. So I have elected to go with Ancient Times, who has really just turned a corner since being gelded. His mind is on the job, and so far he's notched up 2 victories, both over course and distance. I think there's more to come from him, and as I said, lightly weighted, he is definitely a runner. In saying that, number 1 Palo Alto has not put a foot wrong. The weight is not ideal. The yard have said it wouldn't be their first choice, but unfortunately the lack of races, they are going to keep him in here, and he is really in fantastic form. This is his game. He is an 8-time winner. 4 of them have been notched up over track and trip. Definitely a worthy adversary. Another Taralang runner who must be included is number 5 Aryan Express. She's also running in fantastic form, and since introduced to a bit of a trip, she really has shone. Ideally, she would probably like a little bit further, but I do think she's still capable of getting a look in. Race 8 is the last of the afternoon. They finish up over the sprinting trip of 1200. It's a merit rated 74 handicap, and I lead here with Regimental, which is horse number 2. I tip him to beat number 5 Teve and number 3 Hidden Influence. Regimental was supremely unlucky on debut, but he has not looked back since. His last 2 runs have resulted in wins, and I do think he's got a good chance of going for the hat trick here. Number 5, Teve, a little bit disappointing last time out, but in saying that, still didn't disgrace himself, finishing only 4 1/4 lengths off of the likes of Pega de Ora. The yard are expecting a solid run from him, and as such, I'm expecting better from him. Number 3, Hidden Influence, can be tricky to follow. He's a little bit inconsistent, but he generally does put his best foot forward over track and trip, and as such can get a look in here. The PA will get underway in race 2 with All to Come Maiden Plate over 1,000 meters, and I do think that number 1, Iron Henry, stands out. So as such, I have elected to start the PA with a banker, and that is number 1, Iron Henry. On to race 3, second leg of the PA, and my PA numbers here are 3 and 1. I do think they are the horses that really catch the eye in the way of Val Gardena and Madame Seville, and as such, just going in with the 2 there. 3 horses though in the next leg, and they will be my first 3 selections, all of Scarborough Fair, Waldorf Astoria and Cherry Pop. I do think they are all worthy inclusions. Likewise for race 5, where I add in another 3 selections to the 4th leg of the PA. 9, 2 and 6 will be my numbers here. Encryption, Golden Chance and Blue Duchess. Another 3 horses into the next leg of the PA, and that will be 7, 12 and 8. The first 3 selections again. I do think this could be quite an open field with the lack of standout form, and full score will be the first of my selections ahead of the likes of number 12, Imperious Duke, and then of course number 8, Just Sonic. Race 7 and the numbers 8, 1 and 5 go in for the PA for me here. Ancient Times, Palo Alto and Aryan Express. Also I think a bit of a tricky race with a wide spread in the weights. It really does play for anything to really happen here. Last of the day, and normally this is the most open race in the card. I'm hoping it's going to be the other way around today, and for me a horse like number 2 Regimental really does stand out, and I opened my PA with the banker. I will close my PA with the banker, and that's number 2 Regimental. Pick 6 starts in race 3, and here the PA numbers definitely go in, numbers 3 and 1, and to them I add in number 10, Red, White and Blue. A little bit of a safety net because she didn't run a good race last time out, but her debut run proved her capable of so much better, so if she bounces back to that, she could have the ability to upset here. Race 4, again, pick 6 numbers, PA numbers 3, 2 and 6, and added to that I will put in 9 and 11 for the pick 6, and they are Nubel, who was a good winner last time out and is not without chance of going back to back, and number 11, Elusive Jade. She may not have gotten as close in her last 2, but they have been on turf. She's back on poly, and she is at her best on the poly surface. On to race 5, and this is leg 3 of the pick 6. Here the PA numbers of 9, 2 and 6 go in, and I bolster them with 3 and 1. Blue is horse number 3, and the lightly raced 3-year-old, the yard holds her in high esteem. She's back off a little bit of a break, and she has shown promise. Drawn in pole position, certainly must be included. And another Cref runner in the way of number 1, Luna Wish. A little bit disappointing last time out, but generally at her best over this type of trip, and I do think she's got the ability to find the winner's box if all goes well for her. So in she goes as well. Race 6 and 7, 8 and 12 were my PA numbers, so they're definitely in. I will add in as well upset abilities from number 1, King Capone, not in the greatest of form, but the yard are expecting better, and I do think that he's got upset potential if he puts his best foot forward. Number 2, Arabiata, has been thereabouts of recent and is able to show necessary improvement in an open field to be able to challenge for the win. And number 6, Flying Thunder, ran a very decent post-maiden last time out and could be capable of getting closer if able to overcome that draw. So yeah, she'll go in as well. On to race 7, and here, as mentioned a little bit earlier, a bit of an open field with the spread of weights, and the PA selections of 8 Ancient Times, 1 Palo Alto and 5 Aryan Express go in, and I will add in as well 2 and 4. Nippy Sweetie trying a little bit further, but the yard do think she's capable of seeing out the trip, and as a result of current form she must be included. And number 4, First Street, could be a surprise package, having her first run off some fair Cape form, so always to be respected, she must be included. Taking a bit of a chance on the last leg of the pick 6, never ever the right place to banker or the best place to banker, but for me number 2 Regimental does stand out. I'm taking a chance on him, and he will be my banker of the day. As far as the jackpot is concerned, usually the jackpot is a bet that you do tend to try and play to cover the pick six, but with the inner legs of my pick six, so the banker only falling in the last leg, it does work out quite expensive. So I decided to take a bit of a chance, and I go with the same legs, the same numbers as the pick six in the first and second legs of the jackpot. But in the third leg, I go a little bit shorter. I take out the chance of surprise from the likes of King Capone, Arabiata and Flying Thunder, and I just go in with my first three choices, which are Full Score, that's horse number 7, then number 12 Imperious Duke, and the likes of number 8, and that is Just Sonic. So hoping they will be enough to get us through there. As far as my value bet and my best bet are concerned, I do think that we'll find Regimental will be my standout of the afternoon, and that is number 2 in race 8, Regimental. And for me, definitely value of the afternoon is in race 5 with horse number 9, Encryption. So let's hope that comes to play. Hope you guys have a good day's racing. Looking forward to starting the week off in the Eastern Cape.